The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 was not too bad. I feel like my interest in the Hunger Games films kind of lessened with each film. That's not to say I ever reached a point where I wasn't enjoying it. It's still a good film. This was released in 2015. It's directed by Francis Lawrence. It's written by Peter Craig and Danny Strong, with a cast including, of course, Jennifer Lawrence, John Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, Woody Harrelson, Julianne Moore, Stanley Tucci. Solid cast, of course. And the reason I decided to watch The Hunger Games is because of Woody Harrelson. And I'm pleased to say that it was a really good excuse because I have quite enjoyed them. I don't really have that much to say about this film, to be honest. With regards to the general concept, I think I shared most of my thoughts in my discussion for Mockingjay Part 1. This one obviously follows on from that one, where everybody is rebelling against the Capitol. And the big question is, will they gain back control? Or will the Capitol do something to continue controlling everybody? Will they, at the 11th hour, be able to overthrow everybody? And of course, I'm not going to answer that question. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea what direction this was going to go in. And I definitely enjoyed finding out. I thought the narrative flowed well. It worked well. I do think it worked well as being a two-parter as well. I'm usually of the mind that most films that are divided into two parts really didn't need to be. Whereas this one, I think it didn't need to be as long as it is. It's over 2 hours, and I think the previous one was over 2 hours. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think both films needed to be quite that long. There were definitely times when I felt like the scenes weren't either quick enough or they weren't adding anything to it. So the pacing definitely could have been better, but I don't mind them being a two-parter. I think that did work quite well, particularly with where we left off with the previous film, but I won't go into too much detail about that. And in general, it worked well, and I have things to praise that are the same as the other films. The music's good, the lighting's good, the set designs are great, the special effects are brilliant, the performances are very good. There's nothing really about this one that I can say that's different to the others, other than, as I said, for me personally, my interest kind of dropped a little bit with each film. The first film was incredible. The second film was really, really good. The third film, for me, wasn't as interesting, but still is pretty much still as good. And then this fourth film, again, not quite as interesting, but still a solid film. So I'm going to say I recommend it, but I feel like it's the kind of film that people will either watch if they want to, or don't if they won't. It's not one that requires a recommendation. I feel like people have either seen it or they don't care. That being said, I hadn't seen it and I didn't think I cared, but then I watched it because of Woody Harrelson, and I'm glad I did. So I think Mockingjay Part 2 is a decent film. I think it follows on well from the previous film specifically. And in general, I found it to be a decent experience. And if you've watched the other ones and for some reason you haven't got to this one yet, I'd say it is worth carrying on. The films are quite good. I don't know if or when I'll watch the next one. I looked ahead because I was curious to see when the next one was set. And as far as I can tell, correct me if I'm wrong, but the next two are actually prequels to the main Hunger Games films, which makes sense. So I don't know if I'm going to watch them. Woody Harrelson's not in them, so I'm not going to rush to. Maybe at some point, but for now, I'm pleased to say that The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 was a good film. I've really enjoyed this experience. I'm really thankful for Woody Harrelson being in these and giving me an excuse to watch them because it was a pleasant experience. And if you haven't seen any of the Hunger Games films, even if you don't think they're for you, I'd say give them a go, because you might actually be pleasantly surprised with how you find them. Or maybe not. You might hate them. They're not going to be for everybody. Maybe if I were in a different mood, they might not be for me. But I actually think they're very, very well done, and I can completely understand why they're very popular. At least these four films, I haven't really heard anything about the other two. I think there's only one more out just now, and then the next one is coming out. Again, I didn't look into them too much because I'm not going to immediately watch them, or at least the next one. But we'll see. Time will tell. And for now, I can confirm that I definitely enjoyed Mockingjay Part 2. Not as much as the previous one or the ones before that, but it's still a good film. I think they handled the story well. The performances are great. Visually, it's stunning. I have no complaints. Ultimately, I definitely enjoyed the experience.